So going back to the TCU Ohio State game that you brought up, Mace IV, do you have a prediction in that game?
I'm going if they're saying as good as TCU's defense is, which I think it is, and Gary Patterson's mindset, I'm going TCU. I can't like I know it's going to be a high. It's good with all that's going on too with Ohio State right now. I don't know how. I mean, I'm sure they're going to have a decent year. Urban Meyer's not even there at practice right now for obvious reasons. But
that's a good point. I mean,
whether if I were to throw my mentality into it a little bit, being in sports, when your head coach is gone, you're supposedly your captain of the ship who directs a lot of things. There's always people like talking around and questioning. Like we when we had, for example, I know this is minimal on the level, but at my junior college, we switched pitching coaches. My pitching coach left and went to Baylor, and that next year I didn't have a very good year. I'm not saying it's because of that, but I'm saying sometimes when you have distractions that go on to the seasons, sometimes struggle with that. But I'm going with TCU on this for sure. I have a feeling they're going to be good. They might be in one of the teams that represent the Big 12 in the playoffs. I mean,
God help me. So that's actually a really good point. There's a couple things going against Ohio State right now, right? They've got their own little mini scandal, but more information's coming out that's interesting in that. I don't know if you've seen that.
We were talking about it last night. I'm going to let you tell me what you read because I want to make sure.
We'll get into that in the in a second, but
I got you.
So they have a lot of difficulties outside of just football, right? Going into that game, but also I'm really living and married to a TCU grad. I have the pleasure of going to some TCU games, and I got to see Sean Robinson play, their quarterback that's going to be replacing Kenny Hill. Yeah. And he's got talent, and he can
run, right?
Yeah, he's a really good quarterback. He's a big guy, 6'2", 228.
That's big.
So, and he could probably run like a 4.5, and that might be slow. I might be jilting him a little bit, but he has the potential to be a great quarterback, the next great quarterback at TCU. And the weird thing about TCU is last couple of years, their defense was really, really young. And now their defense is really matured, and they got really – you could tell by the end of last year it was really strong. I think they're going to have a really strong defense. I think it's going to come down to them and OU. We can talk about that next week, but I think it's going to come down to them and OU for the Big 12 championship. And to your point, Mace IV, I think they might actually make it all the way.